I'm Jody with United Pawnbrokers out of Jonesboro, Arkansas. Today I have a vintage model Chief Special from Smith & Wesson, chambered in 38 Special. Starting off with the gun, this is a really old Smith & Wesson J-frame, designated as the Chief Special. So this is actually a pre-36. In 1957, they did change this particular model over into the Model 36, which is still produced today. But from the time between 1950 and 1956, this was known as a Chief Special, and it did not have a model designation on the frame. From what I can find about this gun, is it appears that it was made in 1956, so it does not have that Model 36 designation, and the serial number also kind of pointed to being a 1956 year model, which is really neat to see a pre-36. It was available in either 2-inch or 3-inch barrel lengths. This particular one is the 2-inch, and it does have most of your older Smith & Wesson features. It does have the pin barrel and a firing pin mounted on the hammer, and a really neat old feature about some of the older J frames is that it has a flat cylinder release, which is nice and wide compared to the more modern one that we see on your 642s or 442s. This gun also has the old narrower front sight, which is 1/10 of an inch wide instead of 1/8 inch wide. See it quite easy through that little gutter sight on the rear. But overall, really neat. It does have the wood diamond checkered grips with the Smith & Wesson medallion in them on both sides. You have the Smith & Wesson logo right under the cylinder release. Of course, being a J-frame, 5-round capacity. Have a little bit of checkering up front for your ejector rod. This ejector rod is really smooth. Have the serial there. Of course, you have Smith & Wesson on the front of the barrel, 38 Smith & Wesson Special on the other side of the barrel. Little bit of info about Smith. For your trigger, it is a grooved trigger, and of course on top you do have a little bit of checkering on the hammer spur itself to make it easy to use. But going into the dimensions, this gun has a 2-inch barrel, an overall length of 6.5 inches, 4.5 inches tall, 1.25 inches wide, and weighs 1 pound 4 ounces. So this is not an air weight, but it is a really nice vintage piece of carrying history, and definitely worth checking out. Come and see us. Thank you.